Today we're diving into a major update. The third faction, the Pagans, have finally arrived. Alongside this, we'll cover some key foundational features, including a new trade economy, additional resources and equipment, new win conditions, the introduction of the avatar system, and much more. The devs also shared this important update regarding Anvil Empires. The goal of this, and the upcoming few updates, is to get all remaining functional features in for an early access release on Steam this year. Early access for Anvil Empires won't be the end, but rather the beginning of a process to build out the vast and expansive vision we have for Anvil Empires. Similar to Foxhole, Anvil Empires won't be built overnight and will require long stretches of testing and iteration in a real-world setting. A process that will continue well into early access." End quote. So it is official that Anvil Empire should be coming out in early access sometime this year. With that in mind, we can expect plenty of new additions in the coming months. Let's dive into the latest changes in today's update. From the start, Anvil Empires was designed to support 3 factions, and now the Pagans will officially be introduced in next week's test. For now, their visuals will be unique, but their structures, weapons, and equipment will be equivalent to the other factions. Factions will gain unique gameplay elements during early access development. I'm extremely curious to know what unique gameplay elements each faction will get. Anyone have any guesses? Let me know in the comments. Here's the first official lore background for the Pagans. Forged in the frigid southern waters of Wayward Sea, we've tempered our souls within its shining jewels. Our Aranic Isles, still, the gods demand new lands with rich soil fed with the lifeblood of our enemies. So north we sailed. We will claim this new land, this Caligo in their honor." End quote. So eerie and mysterious. I'm excited for Anvil Empires to continue to build on their lore. Now let's talk about the trade economy update. Having a functioning trade economy has always been a major goal for Anvil Empires. The town marketplace was introduced several months ago to allow players within the vicinity of a town to trade with other players. The next step is to begin enabling trade between players from different towns. To that end, new localized trade resources and equipment are being introduced. There will be 3 trade resources that will only exist geographically in certain parts of the world. They will rotate to a random new location at the start of every in-game year. The 3 trade resources will be flax seeds, lead, and resin. Since these resources are localized, the most efficient way to produce them will be trading with other players at the marketplace, or at least that's their goal for right now. These resources will be required to produce specialized weapons and equipment. Speaking of new equipment, 2 additional weapons are being introduced with this update. The first is the Mace, which is a new melee weapon that deals crushing damage. This weapon will be the most effective at damaging enemy stability and knocking over targets. The second new weapon is Burning Oil, which can be used by manning the parapets of a fort. Burning oil can be thrown from the tops of the fort walls down at the attacking force, leaving a burning patch of fire on the ground that deals damage over time to an enemy that walks into it. Additionally, the combat axe is getting reworked to deal cleaving damage, making it the only melee weapon capable of damaging siege engines like battering rams and catapults. This should change up the siege meta quite a bit. Now let's talk about the new win conditions. A proper win condition system has been implemented. Previously, win conditions were enforced manually, but now a structured system tracks and displays win conditions on the map screen. With this new system, there will be multiple types of win conditions. The first win condition will be military victory. This requires capturing a certain number of enemy keeps. The second win condition will be cultural victory. This requires building a certain number of temples and holding them for a period of time. Constructing a temple is only possible in the later ages and demands a massive collective resource effort from the entire faction, including the new trade resources I just mentioned. This reminds me a lot of Wonders from Age of Empires. I wonder if it was inspired by that. Next, we have the new avatar system. The avatar system is based on some concepts that were explored very early in the project but didn't work out at the time. The goal behind the avatar system is to provide a better framework for deployment resources, one that can eventually stimulate the rising movement and upkeep of armies more accurate historically. Instead of food being the resource for deployment, or soldier supplies like in Foxhole, avatars will be required instead, each one representing a single soldier that can be deployed into an army. The production of avatars are conceptually like the training of units in an RTS, except they are controlled and trained directly by players through in-game activities like gathering, building, and combat. There will be different types of avatars in the future, but in this first version there will be 2, apprentice and soldiers. Players start out controlling an apprentice avatar and can train them into a soldier. Trained avatars can be stationed at homesteads until they are shipped out via caravan to reinforce a contested position like a keep or camp. Assembling a large army will require the mustering troops in the form of avatars. from many homesteads across a faction. When deploying at a homestead, town, or camp, players must always select an avatar. Players can also switch their avatar at any time to another one stationed at their homestead. The shipping version of avatars will be a basic building block that will be expanded upon in the future. Avatars will also be able to gain veteran levels and build up different attributes. This is an extremely unique game mechanic. I'm curious, does anyone know if anything similar exists in any other game? It will be interesting to see how this avatar system develops over time. Next for the update, we have 2 new production structures coming to the game. First, we have the ore processors. The refining process for stone and ore is being revamped to align with other industrial mechanics like logging and blacksmithing. Instead of using a stone cutter or mineral refinery, players will now process resources using a smashing plate and manually breaking down materials with a hammer. The second new production structure is the grain mill. This structure grinds raw ingredients like wheat into flour or seeds into animal feed. It can be operated manually or automated using hand crank adapter connected to the power system. The next 2 additions are communication tools, the map post and the signpost. A map post system is being implemented that will allow players to share messages with their alliance directly on the map interface. Map posts will be essential for warning allies about threats on the map, coordinating sieges, and other player-driven objectives. Similar to Foxhole's system, players will be able to upvote and downvote map posts to influence their level of visibility on the map. Each post also has a comment thread, allowing players to further interact with it and add information to an existing map post. The other communication tool being added is a signpost. Instead of the map interface, signposts allow messages to be shared with other players within the game world itself. This is useful for directing other new players, sharing resources, or warning allies of threats and dangers within the area. Players can now customize their signs by choosing from several model designs. Signposts can be upvoted or downvoted just like map posts, which extends or shortens their lifespan respectively. One smaller addition to the game is armor racks. This is similar to the weapon rack, except it holds stacks of helmets, body armor, and shields. Each armor rack has 1 slot for each type of equipment, so multiple racks must be built to store different types of armor. I plan to just LARP around with these and make my homestead look cool, or use them as training dummies. And here are some smaller changes coming to the next playtest. The ones that I personally liked were the vehicle movement improvements and the marketplace improvements. And those are all the changes coming to Anvil Empires. The next pre-alpha test is scheduled for next Monday, March 17th. If you're interested in joining, make sure to check out the Anvil Empires Discord. I'll leave a link in the description below. Here's a list of all the clans that will be participating in the next test, and which factions they'll be playing on. And with early access confirmed for this year, we'll all be playing sooner than expected. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited about, or what features you'd like to see added. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Anvil Empires content. I'll see you out on the battlefield. Cheers!